I believe we are live and still in the 8 p.m. minute. Hoo-hoo. Hoo-hoo. Holy shit. Yeah, let me check the old audio here. Una momento, por favor. There was a time when there would be something wonderful on the screen while I did this. And the audio is working, but we can do that no longer because of the curmudgeons at YouTube. I can't even say what it is because if I say what it is, apparently the algorithms now pick up on the things that you say and they will bury you. And I will use that as an excuse for why these episodes only get like 100 120 watches, views, whatever the fuck they're called. Anyway, yeah. I just spent the better part of an afternoon dealing with the most absurd fucking customer service nightmare, and I have to get it off of my chest before I can even proceed with the rest of this episode. First, I will tell you, Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary_Moyler, Moyler. And of course, please tell your friends to check out at Mike's Golden Streams on YouTube, or just look for Sacktap Live, and this will come up. So I have a hefty American Express gift card that I was trying to use on Amazon's a pain in the ass because you can't use gift cards in combination. So I have a whole stack of gift cards. One of them's a big one, fucking $500. And what you have to do is use the gift cards on Amazon to buy digital Amazon gift cards for yourself, and then use that to buy whatever you want. So I was attempting to do this, but American Express decides that for some reason a purchase, I was just using it to buy a $500 Amazon gift card, it's suspicious. So they put a hold on the card, and now will not allow me to use that card at Amazon. I could only use it. They said I could only use it elsewhere. Otherwise, we have to wait a week so they can return the transaction, and then they're going to cancel that card and send me a new one. This is the most psychotic, whatever system we've created here. We are just an absolute fucking disaster when it comes to stuff like this. Every bureaucracy, DMV, and every fucking hack stand-up comedian has done like a DMV joke before. But it really is amazing how we've just created these systems whereby there is no resolution. Like the amount of time I spent on fucking hold with various customer service representatives was incredible. Literally, the light of mid-afternoon turned to the dark of early evening as we approach the end of daylight saving time, or the beginning, or whatever the fuck it is. But fascinating. And I won't yell at customer service. I'll get kind of sarcastic with them. My parents used to go ballistic on customer service, and it was always a very uncomfortable thing. And they had no problem doing it if there were people in the house. Like I remember having a girlfriend over. Like it was like one of the first times she came to the house, and they were waiting for lumber to be delivered because they were having this new flooring put in. And they were like tag teaming the customer service guys, going fucking ballistic. And another time, the internet was getting very shot. Long Beach Island, where my parents live, when it gets packed in the summer, the internet gets very, very shoddy. Like you're not getting good Wi-Fi. Like that's just the way it is. And it went down one day, like island wide, pretty much. And my mother was on the phone screaming at Verizon, fucking telling them that there was a doctor in the house who needed who needed to be able to access Wi-Fi in case of an emergency, and that someone could die. There's no doctor. To my knowledge, there's never been a doctor in that house. Like I don't believe my parents are friends with any medical doctors. They're friends with one shrink, and I believe that is the extent of their friendship with the medical community. So that was an interesting experience, and for those reasons, I won't yell at customer service, but I will get a little sarcastic and like a little bit visibly irritated with them. But yeah, that was my afternoon. Um, it's been it's been a very like busy couple weeks. I was wrapping up a strength and conditioning certification course, so like my brain's been fucking fried. So this was like the first day of relaxation, and I got all fucking wound up by these assholes at a call center, sons of bitches. Um, howdy, howdy to the boys in the comments section. Um, Patrick Bateman, Johnny Gibbons, Eugene Bello. Is it Bello like Bella Wood? Anyway, howdy, fellas. Good to have y'all here. Rooster is here as well. Good. Um, Reasonably quiet week on the commute front. I did see a couple interesting things. One was a woman, a white woman walking through the Port Authority. She had they like whatever those track marks or scars or what, just whatever that like kind of, she had that, you know, homeless drug addict skin. But she was like reasonably young, and she was walking around the Port Authority using well, an F word, a word that you might have used at a time at your cafeteria table back in high school, uh, to describe someone that you maybe weren't such a big fan of, and it started with F. Um, she was shouting that at the top of her lungs, walking around the Port Authority. It's incredible how it's just accepted that I see the same homeless guys every day. Like there there's a good half dozen or so of them that are just constantly circulating around the north wing of the Port Authority bus terminal, and nobody seems to give a shit. It really is incredible. I would love to crash a Port Authority press conference and ask about that. I saw a fucking what's his name? Frank Fleming, the big the large Mets fan from Barstool, he was at some there's I think they're raising the fares on the buses. This is going to be great. Like you're still risking getting stabbed or like fucking needle poked or fucking robbed by one of these disgusting vagrants, and it's going to charge an extra 15% to do it. So maybe I should get to one of those and voice some concerns, because it really is um, it's fucking fascinating. It is like it's the fucking Walking Dead in there. They're like zombies. They are the closest thing we have to zombies. They look like them. They're kind of attired in shabby, and you try not. I always say this. I try not to like make too much light of like this, what people are going through, like just this horrible thing. But also, it seems wildly unsafe, and it blows my mind that it's going entirely ignored. And I will just continue to fucking harp on this, because every once in a while there is like a stabbing there. I mean, I have walked into the bathroom and seen cops standing around and blood on the floor. So it's not like shit never pops off in there. It often does. Liberal run cities. Anyway, you know where this kind of shit doesn't happen? You know where it doesn't happen? In Japan. Um, they don't put up with shit over there. We're going to talk a little bit about Asia tonight. I lived in Asia, of course, Japan, Okinawa for 18 months with about 6 or 7 months of combined time in Thailand. So I'm reasonably familiar with the way things go over in that part of the world. Um, this story about this school principal who was fired and loses his $133,000 pension after stealing less than 50 cents of coffee might be the most Japanese thing I have ever heard. They are so, and this is, in many ways, it's a virtue because people don't do shithead stuff. Like uh, they don't like the idea of a person dishonoring themselves and like doing something sneaky or stealing or like these things they bother them on like an emotional level. Like it goes beyond just the fact that there's a rule. Like they to them rules are very very important over there. Like to a fast if you go 2 miles per hour over the speed limit, like that you will get pulled over. um they have designated smoking areas in public that you do not smoke outside of. And as a result, there are not cigarette butts all over the fucking street. Like it really is a wonderful place. And if you're like the climate, because of the way it runs north and south, is like you can get tropical, you can get, what's effectively here in like the New York City area. I was up in Tokyo and on Mount Fuji when I was there for uh, for Thanksgiving, and the weather's like exactly the same as it is here at home. So like it is whenever people are like, oh, we're gonna move to Canada or whatever. Fucking like if you're gonna move, so you got to move somewhere good. Japan is a great option if you're one of those people who wants to like flee the United States. Japan is good, delicious food too. But this guy he was apparently the board of ed decided to fire the 59-year-old man after he was spotted taking more coffee than he had paid for at a self-service coffee machine in Tagasago, Hyogo Prefecture. Uh, the principal had paid 110 yen for a regular-sized coffee, but the store clerk noticed that he filled his cup using the button for a large coffee, which costs 180 yen. The clerk confronted the man. He called the police, and then he admitted to taking more coffee than he'd paid for. And he's a repeat offender. He did this twice before. And apparently he did this from a different store with his thefts amounting to an estimated total of 490 yen or 326 US. And of course, the police, this is what they do. They tell on you. Like, it's so funny. I got hammered one night and I stole the microphone from a karaoke bar. Like I thought it would be funny to just walk out with this microphone. I don't know why. Like one of my big things when I was drinking a lot was I would become a fucking klepto when I was drunk. Like I just thought it was funny as hell to steal shit. Like I have no idea why. I just thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Like it would just entertain me. And there was not stuff I had any use for. I wasn't fencing it. It was just like, oh, this will make a cool decoration. And it was a thing that I would do: street signs, bar signs, microphones, apparently. And one night there were these construction workers in Okinawa must have left out these like flashing fucking wands at their fucking site. Picked up a couple of those and strolled home with them. But they will tell on you. Like they'll take the surveillance footage and go to the base and go unit by unit looking for whoever fucking did it. So they will find you. And one of my buddies was there like the next night, and they're like, "Hey, we know your friend took the microphone. Like, have him drop it off, or else we're going to go find him." And like, I had to fucking go. I went in the middle of the fucking night, and I just left it in like their mailbox or on the fucking steps or something like that. And fucking took off. Um, I don't know if the bar was open. I forget if the bar was open or fucking closed. I just remember it was up on the second floor of this building, and I went up there. I don't remember. I either if it was open, I just opened the door and like rolled it in and fucking took off. Or if it was closed, I just left it outside. But I remember being very, very just stealthy and quick about it. Unfortunately, this took place in like 2000. It was 2009. It was right after I got back from Iraq, and my mission was just to lift weights and get fucking shit faced. And that is what I would do for most of my tenure in Okinawa and on trips to Thailand. I pretty much just worked out and got fucking hammered. So this guy, they told on him. They told the school. He admitted the theft. Um, in an interview with officials from Hyogo Prefectural Board of Education, the principal said he stole the coffee on the impulse of the moment and that he was truly sorry. He hasn't been indicted, but school board officials opted to implement the most severe form of punishment used to discipline public servants: dismissal. He was fired. His teaching license has been revoked. He has been stripped of his retirement pay, which had been valued at $133,000, all for $5 worth of coffee. Incredible, incredible. This is uh, like they have a very high suicide rate over there because of stuff like this. Um, like he will have no way to provide for himself, and also he is just mired in shame. Like he is so much. There's so much shame that is associated with this. If you're a Japanese citizen, this is this is incredible, and they're so ice cold about it. Like this is a uh, a school board official said, "We reviewed past disciplinary actions and concluded that dismissal is appropriate for a repeated offense." Um, just, I mean, that just is it's mind blowing because you think about like you contribute to your 401k or it's how you're like set up for the future, and you see these like old people who have to work jobs at like Walmart and shit like that. I know some of them are doing it just to prevent themselves from losing their fucking minds. But you're like, I think one of the great hopes, the American dream, as it were, is to retire and be able to just live out like your final years, not having to worry about, how you're going to fucking survive financially. And the fact that because this guy had a few extra sips of coffee, he was in a good mood. He was feeling a little cheeky, a little naughty. He decided to fill her up on a couple extra drops of Folgers, and fucking he has to give up his $133,000 nest egg that he had in, I guess it's maybe like the school pension account or the retirement account that they have. They just take it away. I think in America, I don't think you can like target like a 401k or something like that. Like I think if you had, I think that's considered like it's like a protected asset for the most part. Like that's fucking wild. Poor guy. If you send John and Jeff the link. Yeah, is it I have I have heard tell of guys who like we are going to be talking about Thailand in a moment. Yeah, but very inside. I appreciate that. Heading to New York City on the 22nd. Any recommendations? What it depends what you're looking for, I guess. Like sports, I mean, you got the Rangers and stuff. Obviously, the Knicks, the Nets. You got the Comedy Cellar, Fat Black Pussycat, Village Underground, the Stand. You could make an entire weekend out of just visiting New York City comedy clubs. Eating, New York City restaurants can get kind of pricey. You could do very well in Hoboken, Jersey City. Weehawken has some incredible restaurants. I'm in Jersey City, so I spend most of my time in Hoboken and Jersey City. Um, there is there's a real good steakhouse that I go to in downtown Jersey City called Edwards. Um, there's there's a whole area that if you're looking for like a night out on the town, you could go out drinking in Hoboken to bars. There's all sorts of fucking pussy running around, and then at night you could after those bars close up, you head back across the river. You can go to wherever your fucking after hours places or New York City last call isn't until like 4 o'clock. I think Hoboken's at like 1 or some shit like that. So you do that and then go to a late night titty bar. You can obviously get food round the clock in New York City. Downtown Jersey City, if you're looking for kind of like a hip neighborhood vibe, there's a lot of nice little bars and restaurants down there around Grove Street. Easy ride on the path. I'm just not a huge New York City guy. Uh, there's enough like urban life on the Jersey side that I tend to go out around here more. But I mean, if you're in from out of town, if you really want to fucking get weird and party, I would look online for like warehouse style clubs in Brooklyn. There are always if you look for DJs coming through New York City, there are usually some big EDM acts coming through. I don't know which the clubs constantly rebrand themselves, and it's been a while since I've gone out like that, but there's plenty of that around. Sightseeing, it depends what you're into. Um, Obviously, a lot of Revolutionary War history, a lot of organized crime history. I think Chinatown is always worth a trek. You can get all right. So if you're not trying to party, if you're 1 year sober, very good. Yeah, Chinatown is a great option if you're looking for really good food. Um, Downtown Jersey City, Grove Street area, a lot of good places to eat. Um, I love a pork bun, and if you go into Chinatown, you go down like a flight of stairs into one of these little fucking hole in the wall shitty Chinese places that look like the fucking health inspector hasn't been in there in a few years. You can eat very well for like $15. Um, Conquer, yeah, Edwards fucking rules, man. Um, I highly recommend Edwards in Jersey City. Very, very good. There's also a place called Porta in downtown Jersey City, which does some great like coal-fired pizza and like more modern takes on like old Italian American favorites. So I would check that out. Fogo de Chao in Manhattan is usually a good time if you're with a bunch of people. It's one of those Brazilian steakhouses where they give you the chip and you go stop or go, and they just keep bringing steak and stuff out. So if you do want to go on a dining tour of the area, you can do quite well. I would also recommend the halal carts on the street in New York City. If you're walking around the city, go to one of those little halal carts and just you're gonna shit your brains out afterwards, but get yourself a thing of like lamb over rice with the red and the white sauce. It's fucking delicious. Like it's disgusting for you, but it's fucking incredible. Um People talk up New York City bagels a lot. My personal opinion on things like bagels and Italian is that you can do better out in the North Jersey suburbs. Um, like, I don't know how mobile you're going to be while you're in town. But if you were to take a trek out to like Bergen or Essex County, like the suburbs, and just hit up a couple local pizzerias and bagel shops, you'd probably find some really really tasty shit. But that is why Baby Frank loves the fucking Taylor ham, or what the fuck he calls it, fucking pork roll, 'cause of where he's from. But yeah, the New Jersey breakfast sandwiches are fucking tremendous. Um, but yeah, what do we got? Continuing on in Asia, Thailand, place near and dear to my heart. There is trouble a brewing on Sukhumvit Soy. Sukhumvit Soy is like it's a very touristy street, and it's where a lot of the prostitution goes on. Of course, because for the most part in Thailand, the prostitutes cater to tourists, to the Falang, as we are called. And you go over there, and you can get yourself like just a little fucking girlfriend for the week. For it, it's such an interesting situation, because there's some chicks like guys wind up getting married over there to women that started out as hookers that they were paying for sex. Like, it's a very interesting dynamic. So like I would go over there. I would never buy a hooker. I would go there. They have these buy me drinky girls, and if you hang out with them long enough, they'll usually wind up like jerking you off at the bar. Like, they'll throw a fucking hand down your pants. Like, if you buy them like a few bucks worth of drinks, and you tell them that like you're not interested in taking them anywhere, but like you keep buying them drinks while they hang out, they'll fucking tug your prick right under the high top at the bar. It's quite nice. They'll do it in strip clubs there too. I remember we went to one where all the chicks were dressed as cheerleaders, and one of them ran up into the crowd and just sat down in between me and my buddy, and whipped our hogs out and started pumping away. So they're really not shy about this kind of stuff over there. But there are, of course, um, they are known. They're known locally as the katoi, lady boys over there. The Thais believe in a third gender, and apparently, there are a bunch of trans Thai and Filipino sex workers who are feuding over territory uh, on Sukhumvit Soy in Bangkok. This is TMZ reporting that the prostitutes got into an all-out brawl in the red light district over reported turf war, and cops got into the melee. Let's see if I hope they don't. I hope there's no reporting involved in this. Because sometimes you never know if they cut in with like a voiceover or some shit. It's annoying. Hopefully, it's just the video. I haven't had a chance to screen it yet. Yeah, it looks good. Share it for you. Welcome to Dead Air Radio. Here, it's like a fucking Nazi rally. They're doing the chop, like a Atlanta Braves game or something like that. This is here come the cops in riot gear. Nice. The Thai cops are getting their fucking asses handed to them by fucking by katoi hookers. This is wild. Yo, this chick, I would never climb on anything like that in Thailand. They are not building codes and all that shit over there don't exist. Like they just slap things together. That is a wild move, lady. Oh yeah. Yeah, she almost died. This is incredible. The cops are getting the ever-loving shit kicked out of them. The cops are all like gooned up in riot gear. They got helmets on, and these like 95-pound hookers are beating the shit out of them. This is incredible. This is like the footage of remember when those teenagers just set Woodstock on fire? That's what this reminds me of. When they hijacked they like hijack was like an ambulance or an armored truck or something like that, and they were driving it through the fucking crowd like a tank. They're knocking over this thing. Oh, wow. Oh, is that going down? It went down. Holy shit. I wish something like this had happened when I was over there. We did get a firearm pulled on us. I have no idea how the situation unfolded, but this staff sergeant that we were with started talking shit to this guy in a bar, and apparently he owned the place, and he just for some reason there was also a desk sitting right outside of the bathroom, and he went into the drawer of this desk and pulled out a fucking gun just as me and this other staff sergeant were walking out from taking a piss, and he's waving this fucking Luger in everybody's face, and we had to run very fast to get the fuck out of there. Yeah, Thailand, baby, fun place. Um, so what was the resolution of this brawl? Did TMZ say? So I guess what happened was sex workers from the Philippines had been using a hotel on Sukhumvit Road. Shout out Sukhumvit Soy, and apparently the other prostitutes were trying to protect their territory. That makes sense. Officers were called over a dispute between some of the Filipino sex workers who were accused of stealing customers from a Thai prostitute in the area. And as cops escorted them out of the building, there was a crowd waiting for them. And I guess that's when it went down. That's when the brouhaha started, as TMZ puts it, with the TMZ said it's hard to tell who's who here, but in any case, a lot of ass was kicked. I think the cops were getting their fucking shit kicked in. They did not look to be comporting themselves well at all. Like they were getting fucking pummeled. In the end, the officers were able to bring the sex workers they were originally there for to the police station. By the way, if you read the subtext there, the cops were arresting the Filipino sex workers on behalf of the local sex workers because it's all good over there. Nobody seems to care that any of this is going on. The same way the authorities in New York City look the other way on vagrancy around the Port Authority bus terminal. Um, the Thai authorities very much looked the other way on a very, very wide and loose channeled sex trade. You see some very uncomfortable things over there. Like it'll be like late at night, and you'll see a fucking like an old German man walking down the street holding hands with like a fucking adolescent Thai boy, and you're like, oh Jesus fucking Christ. Like that's not that's not you're not an expat who moved down here and married a local, and that's your fucking nephew or some shit, or your kid. We know what's up, and it's so fucked up because you can't do anything about it because that's just the way it goes. The this is great. The hookers were arrested for working in the area without the necessary paperwork. Um, awesome, awesome. God bless Thailand. Boom boom or bang bang. Mister I mean, there was we were in Tokyo, and this chick, she was dressed in like a fucking pantsuit, like a businesswoman. We were in this district called Roppongi, and she just walks past us on the sidewalk, and she's like, she just whispers to us, "Suck your cock, $15." It's amazing. It's very there's just a different attitude towards that kind of thing over there, which it's I mean it's interesting. They're very nice people. Like the buy me drinky girl that I used to hang out with when I was in Bangkok for an extended period of time, and I met this buy me drinky girl at the bar across the street from the hotel, and I would go over there. I would sit around drinking San Mig Light all afternoon. She would tug me under the table, and the other chicks working the bar would adjust the music to my liking and give me back massages while I just sat there getting good and hammered in the afternoon, the Thai heat. Um, Wonderful time. And then you shoot a couple rounds of pool with them. They're very good at billiards. They're outstanding at tic-tac-toe and Connect Four. Like they just hang around these bars all day playing these fucking games with drunk tourists, and some of them they masturbate under the table. But fun, 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 fun. Um, What else? Is there anything else of note from fucking Thailand before we move on? I would hate if you guys have questions about Thailand, please fire away. Uh because I would hate to. That's a good question, Nighttime Conqueror. How does any work get done in that country? Let me tell you something. The US got if you want to talk about fraud, waste, and abuse, the Cobra Gold Planning Conference, and then Cobra Gold itself, the exercise that the United States does every year out in Thailand, is so much of that money because you get like when you're over there for a planning conference, you get like per diem and shit. So every day they're giving you like anywhere from 30 to $60 for like meals and incidentals. And sometimes you're over there for a long time. Like I was over there for a planning conference for it was a good 5 or 6 weeks, I think. And I was getting like 50 or $60 for meals and incidentals every day. My hotel was covered, and I was still getting my regular paycheck. Um, and I was pretty much just using that money to go get drunk with the local buy me drinky girls and go on like sightseeing tours and shit. Um, I would work. Pretty much everyone was cutting off work by like 2 in the afternoon. Like it was just like that. The shit could have been done inside of a week, and they had us there for like 6 weeks. Then we went on basically just a fucking road trip through Thailand to inspect military bases to use as trading sites. And fucking like that was pretty much like I was just staying out in this rural Thai hotel. Let me see if I gotta be careful bringing up pictures because of fucking copyright shit on here. But fucking whatchamacallit, the it's this fucking in Lopery, there's this hotel where there's just all these massive monkey statues outside, and for some reason the monkeys all have very like realistically carved penises, and that's where the U.S. government put us up. And then like you're just out there, like I was just eating fucking pad thai and getting hammered every day, and then you go look at a military base for like an hour, take a couple pictures, and then you go back to Bangkok, or fucking or where'd we go? I think I finished things up down in Pattaya. Yeah, that's right. The last week I was there, I was in fucking Pattaya just waiting for a flight at a fucking hotel with this incredible all you can eat buffet that was just comped as part of the fucking room, staying in a really really nice fucking room right by Walking Street, and you just go out, get drunk every night, fucking get your dick tugged by fucking bar girls out on the street. We were walking back. So I finally got the last time I was there. There was like a 2 week wait for a flight, and so the battalion commander took all the officers out for dinner, and me and this other company grade officer had were flying back to Okinawa that night, and we had to leave dinner a little bit early, but we're like, fuck it, on our way back, like we have plenty of time, like let's stop and grab beer on the way back. And we were fucking hanging out with these two bar girls at this outdoor bar, and they had their hands down our pants, and around the fucking corner walks the battalion commander and the sergeant major, like, thought you fellas had a flight to catch. So you there, it's very easy to get distracted over there. But it's an incredible place. Highly recommend you visit Thailand if you can. Wonderful, incredibly friendly people. You can get most substances that you would like. I couldn't do any of that shit because I was on active duty at the time. But like, you can go to a pharmacy and buy a lot of stuff. You buy fucking testosterone and Viagra over the counter in a pharmacy over there. So if you're so inclined, if you're striking out with the ladies in the United States, go ahead on over to Thailand, book yourself like a 1 month trip, fucking spend your days just working out, sightseeing, hanging out on the beach in fucking Pattaya, and fucking hookers and eating delicious food. You'll have a great time. I'm looking at Johnny Gibbons's comment talking about, as I relay how I napalmed an orphanage due to inebriety. That honestly, it probably would have been in the cards at some point. When I got back from Iraq, we fucking we stopped. We had a stopover in Germany when I was on my way back from Iraq, and we started drinking immediately. And we had been, for the most part, sober for 7 months at that point. Like, people send you a little bit of booze. You have a drink here or there when you're in Iraq, but like for the most part, you're not allowed to drink. It's like verboten, and you get in trouble if you do. But the everyone unit wide got so fucking hammered at the airport in Germany because we wound up being there. We were supposed to be there for like an hour and a half. So like, yeah, you guys can have a few drinks. Wound up being a 9 hour layover, and they just never thought to turn off the drinking lamp once it was lighted. So there were dudes just fucking projectile vomiting into urinals and falling asleep under benches. It was fucking incredible. And that began a period of intense. I mean, I guess the raging alcoholism really started in college, but in college it's just college. Um, that really, I just boozed like a fucking madman. From that would have been October of '09 to, I would say, May of 2019. It set off a good 10-year drinking binge, several of which occurred while I was on active duty in the Marine Corps. So yeah. Yeah, there was the uh the environment and the times were ripe for folly. Um I directed the shipment of a bunch of very expensive, heavy engineering equipment from the island of Okinawa up to the mainland of Japan after that horrible tsunami and earthquake and everything. At like 3 o'clock in the morning, when I had been drinking all day for the St. Patrick's Day parade, I was just absolutely fucking blotto. Um, Incredible. I remember I showed up at the staff meeting the next day in fucking, hoodie and basketball shorts and flip flops, and everybody else was there in full uniform, which I did not know would be going on. And then I just went back out to my fucking car and slept for about 7 hours until this follow up meeting that we had. Yeah, good times. Good that they are done, but good times. Speaking of insane behavior, there are these Stanley Cups. Women are fucking crazy. These water bottles. Stanley Cup owners charging $150 for pics with tumbler in selfies with Stanley trend. So I guess it's a big trend now to take a selfie with your Stanley Cup. Like chicks love doing like the picture where they're drinking and it's like a selfie because chicks love being hydrated. Um, but these cups are so hard to find because they just do limited runs of different colors, I guess. And women are fucking lunatics, and they if one of them has something, the rest of them have to have it. So they're now because they're in such high demand, people are just paying $150 so they can take selfies with other people's uh, water bottles. This is like this is so fucking insane. This is when people talk about like white privilege. This is it. This is fucking because let's be honest, we know who's doing this. This one's on the Caucasians. Paying $150 so you can look cool on Instagram might be one of the most insane behaviors I have ever heard. Um, if we think that firing a man and taking his retirement savings over $5 worth of coffee is crazy, the rest of the world probably thinks uh, that Americans paying a fucking $1.50 to get their pictures taken or to take a picture with a water bottle is pretty fucking insane. By the way, these things retail for $35 to $45. They're being resold on StockX and Mercari for as much as $999. Who does this? Shout out to the comments section. Do any of your wives or girlfriends have one of these things? I mean, I guess kudos to you. If you can get one, I might fucking I might try to track some of this shit down. Should that would be great to just get a jump on these idiots, get your hands on one and fucking and extort them for fucking selfies. Moms like Dana Motika from Ohio shared that her 9-year-old daughter was teased for not having a name brand Stanley when the youngster showed up to school with a $9.98 knockoff from Walmart. Snooty antagonists ripped her to shreds. On the second day back to school after Christmas break, she comes home. She's just upset, explained Matika in a TikTok tell-all. Some of the other girls in her grade got Stanleys for Christmas, and they made sure to let her know that hers is not a real Stanley, that this is fake and it's not as cool. Well, yeah, no fucking shit. Like, you can't look, as stupid as I think this fucking trend is, do not like, I know, look, times might be tough, whatever. You are better off going into that school with just a bottle of Poland Spring as your water bottle than you are going in with a knockoff Stanley. I mean, everybody knows that. Are you come on. Like, you know the way elementary school works. The kid's gonna get fucking mocked for having the knockoff, especially after Christmas. Right after Christmas, that's when people are strutting their stuff. You show up with the knockoff in fucking March, and you might go unnoticed, and it's just like, oh, you have a shitty fucking. Why don't you get a better water bottle? You're just like, oh, I don't know. We had one of these at home. I took it in. Like, no one cares. Um, fucking, but if you go in rocking a brand new one right after Christmas that you haven't been seen with before, like, if you're gonna go with a shitty water bottle, if you're gonna go with the imitation, you gotta like integrate it, kind of like accidentally. Like, it can't be kind of strutted about with pride because you have an inferior product, like you have a loser water bottle. You gotta fucking you gotta like just have it at softball practice or something like that one day, like like you're just using it as a bottle, right? Like, it's not, there's no cachet to it or whatever. And then like you just kind of start bringing it around with you, and it's just like, oh yeah, you're just always seen with that fucking bottle, and nobody cares. Like, you can't come out swinging with your fucking your bogus 9.98 Walmart thing. If that's a 75% discount, that's fucking, yeah, get the fuck out of here. They take the pictures with the band still on, the Quencher H2.0. Awful, awful stuff. Off-brand Christmas gifts has shattered scores of childhoods. Oh yeah, big time. Or sneakers were a very, very big deal growing up. If you had like a shitty off-brand pair of sneakers, my mother went on this fucking crusade for years against Nike because there was this little mom and pop shoe store in town, and Nike, I guess the way their distribution works is I guess if you're a certain size store, you're only gonna buy a certain amount of shoes. You have to pay more for them, right? It's like Finish Line can charge less for a product because it's gonna move a lot more of them. This little fucking mom and pop shop isn't gonna move as many pairs, so they have to pay more for them to make it worth Nike's while. And for that reason, they would not carry Nike, and my mother would not, she refused to buy fucking Nike shoes because of this. Even like if I pointed out like an equivalent, like if we went to Models or something like that, and like a pair of Reeboks was the same as a pair of Nikes, she would just refuse to buy Nikes. I'm like, you're fucking killing me here. Like, I'm the one who's got to walk around the fucking hallways with these things on my fucking feet. And like, there really was a time when eventually, like by high school, Adidas, Puma, all that stuff started to come into play. Fucking Emmett Smith was wearing, Reebok. So that kind of helped it out. But like, dude, when you were younger, if you didn't have a fucking a pair of Nikes or those LA lights that lit up, that was the other one. She wouldn't get me the fucking LA lights because she saw some horror story on the fucking news about how some kid set his foot on fire. And I'm sure it was some child doing something incredibly fucking stupid. Like, I don't think, you're like, there was probably a fucking lighter and some gasoline involved. And he just told his mother that it was the shoes that overheated. But of course, I could not get those. I could get regular. There was no crusade against LA Gear, the company. I could get regular LA Gears. it was I just could not have the ones that lit up for fear that my foot would go up in flames. Yeah. Nighttime Conqueror Champion. Champion was a dad brand back then. Now Champion is cool. Champion is pricey as fuck these days, but yeah, back in the day, Champion was like a dad brand. Champion was like your dad would wear like a crusty pair of fucking Champion sweatpants around on like a Sunday morning, and in retrospect probably wasn't wearing underwear, probably just like his hairy ass balls and like nasty fucking Sunday morning uh relaxation farts slipping out into those ratty Champion sweats. um Back in the 90s, starter, and if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, Apex was the exclusive Cowboys company. They were great. I had Apex. I only had a couple of pairs of Jenkos. I was not a huge Jenko guy because I didn't skate. And I wasn't. I found skate culture during that few years where skateboarding and like fucking like X Games style like people were getting those like fucking trick rollerblades. I played roller hockey, so I had like hockey skates. But people would get those like they were like called like chocolates or whatever. There were a bunch of different ones, and they would like grind on like they'd like curb plates where they could grind on curbs, and they were all wearing very baggy pants. And this was like the late 90s. I was actually just before the show started this evening. I always pick some kind of music to jam out to for the last few minutes before I go live, and I was rocking out to some Gin Blossoms and some Spin Doctors and the like, and I was kind of reflecting on the 90s, and I was thinking about like fucking you know, all of the very bushy shaggy hair and the baggy clothing, and how much of it is like it's kind of back amongst the kids these days. And like I thought it was hideous then. I thought it was all disgusting then. I remember being a kid growing up back then and being like, oh, everyone, our clothing is disgusting. Like our clothing fucking blows. Um, I remember watching Goodfellas and being like, I want to dress like those guys. Like that I appreciate. These guys know how to put it together. Like I just remember thinking all clothing was disgusting back then. And then I really felt like we were getting our shit together uh, about about 2013 or so. I feel like we really hit our stride. Everything was sort of like neat and it fit. And then it all went to shit the past few years with the younger generation getting back into that like grungy baggy because they're all sad, they're all depressed, so they want to just drown in like a big sweatshirt and a big pair of pants. They don't want to be body shamed, so you can't even see what their bodies look like. It's bad. Every once in a while, like you catch a chick, like they'll be rocking like the ripped jeans look, and you'll catch like a nice slice of thigh or something like that. That's kind of nice. But I was very hopeful last summer. I think it was last summer or maybe the summer before. I went out to dinner for my birthday. I went out down the shore to fucking. It used to be called La Terrazza. I don't know if it still is anymore. It's an Italian place on the beach in Belmar, but I noticed the waitresses were walking around in the very. You remember there were these short skirts that were very very in vogue in the early 2000s. Like the Abercrombie and American Eagle would sell them, and they were like really tight, and they came up basically to right underneath the ass cheek, and some of them would they had a little bit of lift to them, so you could see like a nice slice of thigh. And it was like sort of the de rigueur attire for women of my generation at like a springtime frat party or something like that. And I saw a couple waitresses wearing that style, and I was hopeful that was making a comeback, but apparently not. But fashion is cyclical, so hopefully we'll kind of advance out of this phase, and then we'll get back, moving towards that. Because if that's the case, we're only a few years away. I will say I'm very, very pleased that the Sopranos, I guess they call it Soprano core uh, style trend, like all these Paulie Walnut style shirts and fucking, uh, you know, short sleeve fucking button down bowling shirts are in. Like I have a full wardrobe of just Paulie Walnut style clothing, and it really fits me quite well. That is my goal. As I leave you here this evening, I will say that as I age, one of my big life goals is to age like fucking Paulie Walnuts or Junior Soprano, and take on more of that attire as I get older and older, because I really think it is a fantastic look, and I am glad that the popularity of the Sopranos has led to that. So I'm gonna wrap it up. I have a fucking porterhouse to get onto here, and I'm very hungry. I was deadlifting this afternoon, and I need to load up on protein. Appreciate y'all being in the comments section here this evening. I believe I'm back live next week to check in with you guys. Nighttime Conqueror, thank you for the many comments. Johnny Gibbons, all the boys who are in here tonight. Eugene, I hope your your trip to New York City finds you well. Yeah, you have to do yourself a favor and definitely go see the Port Authority. Go during rush hour. Go during the morning rush, between like sometime between 6 and 9 a.m. and just observe it all and enjoy. Um, have a great night, folks. Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary_Moyler, Moyler. YouTube, Mike's Golden Streams. Tell your friends, and we'll see you next time, folks.